Willow, and this is Wish Upon a Willow. Welcome. This is day 18 of mindfulness practices, mini mindfulness practice activation. Here on YouTube. I have been at a Reiki class all day, and I am officially a Reiki Shoden. Oh, yeah! Look how pretty it is. Oh. It's so exciting. Can't wait to put that up in my studio. Oh, man. Yay! Do you have any accomplishments that you would like to share in the comment section so we can all just be like to everybody? Because oh man, I would love to hear whatever it is. It doesn't have to be getting a certificate, but anything that you're proud of. You could be like, I went into the nether on Minecraft and completed the game for the first time and defeated the dragon. Whatever, anything. I would love to hear. Alright, so yesterday, on day 17 of this series, we talked about releasing emotions so they don't get stuck in your body. And in fact, going and getting Reiki done to help facilitate the Reiki energy flowing through you to remove those stuck emotions. If you feel called to doing that, maybe you should. Or there's all sorts of spiritual healing practices that people offer. I just ate some cashews and I'm like, ugh. So that was just a side note about the Reiki thing or spiritual practices. But if you feel called to getting any of that done, it's helpful. Reiki changed my life. I went to Jamie Roth at Spiritual Encounters in Lafayette, Indiana last year, and when I walked into her office on that first day, I was a completely different person than I am now. She cleared so many things out of me that led to a spiritual transformation. That was just one part of it, but it was a huge deal. It was right at the very beginning of stepping into this whole transformation process. And when I walked into her office, I couldn't make eye contact. I was just so nervous. I was just a shell. Who is that sad little person? So treat yourself, treat yourself to some healing, some massage. You could do whatever you feel called to do. It's still a side note, but there you go. Take it. So with the whole letting go of emotions, something that it's interesting because I just did that video yesterday, and then something we were talking about in Reiki, and they talk about this in Buddhism, is that striving for detachment, because attachment is the root of all suffering. And it's something that I've been putting into practice a lot lately in my own spiritual practices within myself, where I'm letting myself feel the joy, the anger, the sadness, insert emotion here, and then releasing it out of my body. It does not belong to me. My body is a channel for this emotion, and then I release it. It's like a compass. It's like a guide. If you're getting angry, maybe a boundary's been crossed and you should address that. If you're sad, then looking at the deeper root of the cause, why you're sad, it's a good thing to help you. Because yesterday I was just talking about how to get the emotions out in a physical way, But there's also a way where you can do it, and I guess it's a little bit more mental. You can ask your anger, like, why am I angry? Why am I angry right now? Like, did that person at work steal my snack bar out of the shared cabinet? I don't know. That's such a random example. And then a lot of the times with anger specifically, there will be underlying emotions. So when I'm angry, a lot of the times I'm actually sad, but anger is easier. And I know it's like that with people oftentimes. But I am an Aries, and I am a fire sign, and I will jump to rage before realizing I'm not actually, like, yes, I experienced anger, but that's not the root of it. There'll be like a deep seated psychological issue that I need to get to. And you can ask yourself in that moment, like, start going through a process of, first of all, yesterday's video will be helpful if you would like to watch that, about how to get the emotions out. So get the emotion out physically, and then once you're calm, because the goal is to come back to calm, come back to your breath, and detach from the emotion. You are not your emotions. Your emotions pass through you and then they leave. They're not supposed to stay and stagnate and overwhelm you. That's not natural. So once you're calm again, you can start to assess, why did that make me angry? And then that question, if you listen within yourself, and this takes practice. I'm still practicing. I'm still a work in progress. Oh, a boundary was crossed. Okay. Well, why did that particular boundary make me feel that way? Why did that person crossing over it make me feel that way? And then that might lead you to, oh, in my childhood, this happened, and now that is a touchy subject or whatever. And then through this process of unraveling, you learn where you're not free, and you can free yourself from those triggers slowly. Because, like I've talked about with the ego, your ego gets triggered because you learned these behaviors and now they're programmed into you. And through this whole process of unraveling them, maybe you won't be as triggered by that next time, or you'll have a better understanding, or you can better communicate your boundaries to avoid that trigger. And then if you have a therapist, or if you don't, like, I would recommend getting a therapist. That would be really helpful to help you through this process. I am not a therapist. However, I have gone to therapy. I have a pretty okay understanding of psychology from books that I've read from taking psychology in college, but, not a therapist, cannot actually, like, legally facilitate these things, right? These kind of things for you. But one, you can go to therapy, and your therapist can help you through this, because this can bring up deep things that you might need another person to be around. Or if you don't think that therapy is for you, which you're probably wrong. Therapy's great. You just need to find the right one. I get it's scary. But at the very least, maybe, like, have a trusted friend or family member be there for you so you're not going through it alone. Because I went through my dark night of the soul mostly alone, and it was really, really hard and painful and scary. And, like, I knew I was strong enough to do it, but there were some moments, and, like, yeah, it was rough. Or I confide it in the wrong people, which is just a lesson. But yeah, so we want to take care of the physical aspect of getting the emotions out, and then the emotional aspect of unraveling and understanding. You can't like peek. You can just nitpick at things into eternity, and at some point it stops being useful, and there's a balance. At some point, you need to stop yourself and be like, all right, like I did enough work, and you need to take a rest. Because if you keep unraveling and keep unraveling and keep doing shadow work endlessly without taking breaks to rest, pour into yourself and rejuvenate and step back and stop trying to figure things out, it needs to be like a. You can't just endlessly do that. You can break yourself. Careful. Proceed with caution. Probably go see a therapist. Warning. But if you want to move forward and be able to get to a point where you're not just reacting, it's going to take some work. And every single thing that happens in your reality is a mirror of your inner world. And every single thing that happens to trigger you is only there to show you where you're not free, and it's to help you. Okay? Wow. This is really random, but this lighting is making especially my nose, but my face looks so red. I just noticed that. Anyway. Silly. If you would like a little bit more or a lot of bit more information on this and to go further in depth, just leave me a comment down below. I can do another video on this if you need more explanation. This is just an intro. This is a mini mindfulness practice, which we are lightly touching a bunch of different topics, and we can expand upon them in future series or on my blog. If you like the vibe, please subscribe. If you feel like this is helpful and you want to learn more, turn the notifications on, like, comment, whatever you feel like doing. I also have 30 days of mini meditations, which I am recording next, and then 30 days of playing life like a video game, which will follow. I will leave those links below. And remember, where there's a will, there's a way. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Bye.